That's a great question, and very relevant. When I first went there, New York was still my lodestone, so I'm returning to New York, and one day I'm going up in the elevator to say hello to the people in my department at Hunter. And this very elegant art dealer gets in the elevator with me, and he looks me up and down and he says, "Oh, Tina, are you still in Jamaica painting sunsets?" And I said, "Yes," which was true. So the whole thing, my whole vision had changed. Nature was so overwhelming. The canyons of New York and the hard-edged steel no longer seemed appropriate. And then he dropped his eyes to my shoes and he says, "Oh, I like your shoes." And I said, "They're orthopedic." So I had my orthopedic shoes made in bright yellow. Anyway, so that kind of sent a signal to me that maybe I was no longer on the New York track. And when I went back, I became totally dedicated to being part of the Jamaican art scene, to helping it evolve, to being I knew Edna Manley, who was the founder of the Jamaican art movement, and she was the wife of the former premier of Jamaica and mother of Michael Manley, the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And she had founded the National Gallery of Jamaica and the Edna Manley School for Visual and Performing Arts, which was then called the Jamaica School of Art. So I became very involved in that movement of building the Jamaican art movement and trying to help it evolve. The transition from sculpture to painting was an imperative, because when I moved to Jamaica, I didn't have welding tools. And my first exhibition, which I did at the John Peartree Gallery, which was owned by a wonderful Jamaican painter named Eugene Hyde, who had studied in California with Rico Lebrun at CalArts. Anyway, he gave me my first ever solo exhibition. That happened in Jamaica. So along with these very elaborate, sort of erotic pen and ink drawings, I made a couple of large-scale steel sculptures, because it was still in my fingertips. It was something I really had to do. But gradually I kind of left that behind, because it didn't seem to fit into Jamaica at the time. It would now, very much so, and it would have maybe 20 years after I first started exhibiting. But I got completely entranced with the flora and the fauna, with the nature of Jamaica, with the landscape, with the light, and I started to paint. And that's when Mati started coming down to Jamaica, and then I started absorbing his techniques. And I had some of those painting techniques from my former painting teacher when I was a young child. And Mati was able to refine and help me develop my techniques even further. So after that, it was just like the next 40 years were really dedicated to painting.